Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and while at work today I noticed there's a new announcement on Pride Win, so I thought I'd go ahead and just make a quick video on it. So this is coming to the CN version, so this is going to be not happening for us most likely for a long time on the global side, but it is something that can help people with making their poll decisions here on upcoming units, because there's actually a lot of changes within this patch impacting units that are coming up. And so this newest patch on the CN side looks to be all about the burn team, the new unit coming out. It looks to be a burn unit. Senarusi is going to be getting her mod key. There's going to be a new swimsuit, as you can already see down in the bottom here, for Sharkery. And there will be a mod key for Kesnia as well. So if we kind of take a look at this, the first big thing is there's a new swimsuit coming out. There is a whole video on it. I'm not going to kind of watch the whole video here. I'll post a link to it in the description if anyone wants to watch it. It kind of shows a little bit of the swimsuit with Sharkery, as well as some of the kit in action of the new unit, which the new unit is right here. It's in the original game. It was MP5 named Peri coming out. And so they have some of the details here, and this is where I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to build the burn team now. It's kind of funny because we just got Macchiato because she's going to kind of go into my burn team with my current teams. But she is one that focuses on doing damage with her basic attacks. She can consume her own HP to get some stacks that are called hot money currently based on translation. And then how many stacks she has will be able to maintain being able to do more basic attacks multiple times in a row. And while it's under the effect, she takes less damage, but her healing is less effective as well. So because she is a bulwark unit from what I've seen in the trailer. She has an AoE that applies overburn. We know we love some overburn with the burn side. It triggers Sharkery's, and it's one thing that triggers Sharkery's counterattack. And then we have, or sort of port attack for her. She can apply a shield to herself. She can taunt the enemies. And then it says she gains confectance points or skill points when allies use support attacks. So QJ, big one on QJ, and attacks that deal burn damage. So even more massive QJ there. And so there are new mod keys that it mentions. First one's Kesnia here. At the end of action, recovers 2 stability for the ally with the lowest stability. That seems pretty nice. Just kind of keeping your people topped up on stability, especially seeing as she's not the strongest on the healing side. So if you can keep their stability up, they can at least take less damage from the hits that they're taking. And then Senarusi, which everybody has kind of downplayed her value because it's all about damage in the future, not as much on the healing. And Senarusi's kind of been your big healer. She's getting her mod key or expansion key, applies refreshing hot tea to self for 2 rounds at the start of battle. And when using her ultimate, when using her special drink or S2 skill, she applies perfect guard. And sorry, my dogs are in the background. You might hear them a little bit. Applies perfect guard to all allies for 2 turns. When an allied unit deals burn damage or you perform a support attack, gain 1 point of a confectance index or the skill points. So I'm probably when they don't know how that's really going to impact her, but and we'll kind of have to see as well when it comes out. But the fact that she's kind of getting some changes and a perfect guard for all allies, we kind of need to see what that is. If that works out to be something similar to like a shield, like Suomi's, that could be absolutely a massive buff to her in her support role, just being able to keep your team alive. Because Suomi's just great for the stain because they got the shields, and with her V1, pretty much can't die because she also heals them as well if their shields are broken. And so just adding a little bit more to her kit to give her more support can bring her over the line on being good for doing more damage, as well as now having that extra sustain that you don't get with Tesnia. Now the big thing is here with the new unit Peri. As we've seen with the current teams, at least the min-max team that I'm kind of working on was going to be a V2 Macchiato, QJ, you have your sustain, whereas Kesnia Senarusi, and then you have Vector, and if you get Vector V1, that gives even more support attacks to QJ, and that's why you kind of wanted Macchiato to trigger more of her support attacks. And so the question is, where do you fit her in? And you almost, it's the burn team, and if you're going to go with that mono element, she basically is going to replace Macchiato. And so that kind of begs the question. We don't completely know her entire kit, but I do see that she can use her basic attacks multiple times in a row, and that's kind of key with it. She has to consume health to do it, but if she can attack multiple times in a row, that's going to be your way to trigger more of QJ's support attacks, especially if you have Vector V1 and you need to get 6 support attacks out of her to really do the damage. And so she's going to be that replacement for Macchiato in the future when she comes out. Now, that's going to be a while from now. And so it doesn't change my opinion on Macchiato if you haven't pulled on her yet. And Macchiato's good on her own. I mean, everybody, she's good right now on her own. And even if you're going to remove her from that burn team capability, she's still going to be great on the frost side of things because we have Suomi. So don't think it's a bad pull to get her. It might reduce the value of V2 on her, and it might change my polling positions later because I got her V1 because her V1 is what really makes her a good DPS on her own. And then Macchiato's V2 is really what can make it where she can do those extra attacks to help get QJ to do her support attacks within the burn team. But with Peri, that might change my polling decisions in the future because her V2 loses value, for me at least, because the V2 for me, when I pull it in the future on a rerun, was going to be specifically for the burn team, which may not be needed anymore. We'll have to completely see Peri's kit, but she may be what kind of completes the entire team. And then with the mod key, that might make Cinerusi kind of come in there now and be top dog again on being able to do damage and not have to bring Kesnia. And now you'll have that full burn team ready to go, top of the ladder on damage. We'll just kind of have to see how it shakes up because it doesn't give all the details on Peri, just kind of how she's going to work as a member in the team. But that is pretty much everything that I've seen on this post. There'll probably be more updates on it to come here as they reveal more on the CN side, and I'll kind of make another video on that. But overall, it looks like this next patch is going to just be all about the burn team, similar to how the last one in CN was all about improving the Hydro team. And to me, it kind of makes me feel like they're just kind of fine-tuning out all of the elements at this point. So who knows when we're going to get that next one. Which we're going to probably have a lightning one coming up at some point, and then maybe we can expect to get that expansion key for Mosin Nagant. I know a lot of people are waiting to see that. I definitely am now. I did get my first dupe of her on one of my losses on my Macchiato pulls, so I have her at V1, and so over time as I pull in more units, I'll probably slowly build up her dupes. And then I'll be excited to see when she finally gets her expansion key and we can see her become just as broken as we've seen with QJ and Tololo with theirs. And then we also have Veple, which we're going to probably want to see what she can get with her expansion key. Some people talked around them building a physical team where a physical kind of becomes a team on its own, even though they don't really have an element, something that can be specialized and built around. And then the other big one that I know a lot of people really want is how they're going to expand on the corrosion team with the next unit, because the main thing corrosion's missing is really a sustain that is dedicated to the corrosion side. Now, right now, Kluke and Mekti and Parita alone are so broken, they just basically take whatever sustain, so you probably want to bring your Suomi with that group. I mean, they don't really need that extra umph over. But once we get, there's going to be at some point, we'll get some kind of corrosion type sustain, whether it's a tank that can take a lot of the hits and do some healing, or if it's just another straight up healer that has some kind of corrosive type attack to it. So like something like a life leech, or who knows how they can do it. But we'll need that. And so they just kind of keep expanding on the elements. But yeah, that is pretty much it. If you like my content, if you like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.